morning, children.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay, let's see the different formulae under the cylindrical shell or a hollow cylinder. So an example of a cylindrical shell or a hollow cylinder can be, I was telling you about the pipe the other day, the pipe which is used for plumbing purpose. The pipe is made of metal and the metal has a countable amount of thickness, the wall of the metal. I'm talking about a pipe used for plumbing activities. Plumbing, pipe, open at both the ends. This pipe can be made of plastic or metal. And when it's made of metal, the metal has a countable amount of thickness. You cannot ignore the thickness. It is thick. You cannot neglect the thickness. Well, when we say hollow cylinder, we are talking about a cylindrical shell where the wall will be thick. Now, there are hollow cylinders whose wall can be thin. That will be given to you clearly in the question. The term hollow cylinder is used for a cylinder which is open at both the ends. The term hollow cylinder is used for a cylinder which is open at both the ends. Okay, so one thing we understood. So if it is a hollow cylinder, then it will be open at both the ends. All right. Now next is about the thickness of the wall. The thickness of the wall of the cylinder. When we say hollow cylinder, the wall, that is the material. See, the cylinder is made of plastic, it's made of glass, it's made of metal, it's made of wood, whatever is the material. If the wall is very thin, that its thickness can be ignored. That's one case. The wall can be so thin that the thickness of the wall can be ignored. That also is a hollow cylinder, where the thickness of the wall is so negligible that it can almost be ignored. That is a hollow cylinder because it's open at both the ends. So the criteria should be open at both the ends. So hollow cylinder, the wall can be thin or thick. Now when you take this pipe, the metal the pipe is made of can be thick. That is, the wall of the cylinder can be thick. That also is a hollow cylinder. In specific, we say cylindrical shell. Cylindrical shell. So a hollow cylinder is usually referred to a cylinder which is open at both the ends. A hollow cylinder, the term hollow cylinder is used to refer to a cylinder which is open at both the ends. The wall of the cylinder may be thin, may be thick. That is, the thickness of the wall may be so negligible that it can be ignored. That also is a hollow cylinder. Or the wall may have a countable amount of thickness. That is, the thickness cannot be ignored. Can be either ways. Okay. A hollow cylinder is not a solid cylinder. That's all it is. A hollow cylinder is not a solid cylinder. A hollow cylinder is not a solid cylinder. Okay. So now, when we see the volume of a cylindrical shell, the volume of the material in the cylindrical shell, volume of the material in the cylindrical shell. So now this one, see here, if you assume this one to be an object made of metal, just assume this to be an object, some object made of metal. Okay, this one is made of metal or wood, or it's made of wood, say it's made of wood. Okay, so this one is an object made of wood. Clearly it is cylindrical and it's a hollow cylinder. You can see it's open at both the ends. And the wall is thick. The wall is thick. The wall is thick. So this gives rise to two different radii, one inner radii and one outer radii. You will have two values for radius. That is, you will have one inner radius and one outer radius only when the wall is thick. If the wall is thin, there will be only one value for R. You can call it the inner radius or outer radius, whatever. There's only one radius there. The inner radius is equal to the outer radius. When the wall is thin, when the wall is thin, this wall, no, when it is thin, there's only one radius from the center. Now this radius, you call it the inner radius, outer radius. It's only one radius. The radius has only one value. You can, depending on the situation, it's referred to as the outer radius or inner radius. But the wall is thin. So there's only one radius here. It can be called outer or inner or simply radius. But there's only one value for the radius when the wall is thin. When the wall is thick, you can see we have inner radius, and inner radius plus the thickness will give you the outer radius. When the wall is thick, so we have the inner radius. This is the inner radius, small r. Okay, this is the inner radius, small r, plus the thickness of the wall, plus w, plus the, you can see it here, r plus w, r plus the thickness. From here to here is inner radius, and from here to here is the thickness of the material. So the inner radius plus the thickness of the material will give us the outer radius. Will give us the outer radius. From the center to this point, outer radius. Yeah. All right. Now we are going to talk about the volume of the material in the cylindrical shell. The material. Now just imagine this were a chocolate. Imagine this were a chocolate, you know, like this. So this is a chocolate. So how much chocolate have you eaten? The volume of the chocolate. You can see for the chocolate, you can find weight. So now for the solid, you can do two things. You can find the weight of this chocolate. It could be 100 grams, 200 grams. This chocolate, you can measure, you can check its weight. And also its volume. The volume is the amount of chocolate. That is, when you eat the chocolate, the amount of chocolate in it, in terms of volume, can be measured. And that you can get using this formula. How much of chocolate? See, supposing the chocolate is in this shape, it's empty inside. It's empty here, you know. This is chocolatey. This one is, let me do it again. I think it's easy to understand. I don't have to describe so much. This one is the chocolate. Okay, this one is the chocolate. It looks like this. The chocolate looks like this. We need to find the volume of the chocolate. We need to find the volume of this chocolate. That is how much chocolate is here in terms of centimeter cubed or millimeter cubed, depending on the size of the chocolate. Maybe if the values are given in millimeters, then the volume will be in millimeter cube. If the values are given in centimeter, the radius and height, they are given in centimeter, then the volume will be in centimeter cube. All right, now how do we find the volume of the chocolate here? So chocolate, here there is no chocolate. Here there is no chocolate. Chocolate is only this wall. Only this wall is a chocolate. So what is the volume of the chocolate? Now, how much you understand depends on how much you allow your imagination to work. Imagine. Now, will you agree if I say that, now let's just understand how this chocolate would have been made, you know. We'll just, you can assume, you can find many versions, but I'll tell you one. Now, I think this should have been a solid cylinder like this, a solid cylinder. Please imagine the entire thing to be a solid cylinder. The whole thing is a solid cylinder. This one is a solid cylinder of radius r, That's my imagination. I believe this one should have been a solid cylinder Here it's solid. There's chocolate here also. There's chocolate here also. It's a solid cylinder. Please understand the word solid cylinder of radius r. So this is a solid cylinder of radius r. Of radius r. I'm actually deliberately using capital R. You will understand why. Now you will ask me why you're using capital R. There's only one radius. Use small r. I'll tell you why I'm using capital R later. So now I just believe that this should have been a solid cylinder. Solid cylinder. Here also this chocolate of radius. This is a center. This is a center. This is a radius. This is the radius of radius r. Now from its center, a solid cylinder of the same height has been removed. How this chocolate is made? Okay, how this chocolate is made? Now from this solid cylinder, this cylindrical portion from the middle, using the same center. This is the center. This is the center of the the big cylinder. Using the same center and a smaller radius. Supposing this one is of radius 5 centimeters. Okay, using the same center and radius 2 centimeters a cylinder has been removed from the middle. The cylinder has been removed. You're drilling out a cylinder. Let's come from the beginning. We have a solid cylinder of radius 5 centimeters. We have a solid cylinder of radius 5 centimeters. Now, when we say radius 5 centimeters, there is a center on the top circular portion. There is a center. Using the same center and same height of that cylinder, but a smaller radius, a cylinder has been drilled out, scooped out from the middle. It's removed from the middle. It's a solid chocolate. It's a solid cylindrical chocolate of radius 5 centimeters. So the top circle, the bottom circle, there is the center of the circle. Using the same center, smaller radius 2 centimeters, same height. If the height of the cylinder is 10 centimeters, okay, we'll just say 4 centimeters. If the height of the cylinder is 4 centimeters, same height. The inner cylinder, lesser radius, but same height, 4 centimeters. It's drilled out, it's removed. It's removed from the middle. A cylinder from the middle of radius 2 centimeters and same height 4 centimeters is removed. That's when this cavity is formed. That's when you remove a cylinder from the middle, a cavity like this is formed. Now you can see through the ends. Because earlier it was a solid cylinder. You cannot see from one circle of the cylinder, you cannot see the other end. But now a cavity is made. A hole is made in the middle. A cylindrical hole has been made in the middle. This cylindrical hole, using the same center, radius, smaller radius 2 centimeters, same height 4 centimeters. So when you remove, imagine you're removing it. You're removing a cylinder of this kind from the middle. That's when the cylindrical shell is formed. That's when the cylindrical shell is formed. This what you see here is a cylindrical shell. This is a cylindrical shell. It's empty in the middle. Cylindrical shell is empty in the middle. So capital R, now for the original, the big cylinder or the outer cylinder, for the outer cylinder, this is the radius. R is the radius and this is the height. For the inner cylinder, that which I remove, for the inner cylinder, this is the radius, same as the height. The same as the height. This is the radius of the outer cylinder and height of the outer cylinder, radius of the inner cylinder, height of the inner cylinder. Now this is what is removed. This is the original. This is removed from the middle. So what will be the volume of the original solid cylinder? The volume of the original solid cylinder is pi r square h. Pi, because cylinder pi r square h. So pi capital R square h. Pi r square h is the formula to find the volume of a cylinder. We use capital R because it's R, capital R here, outer cylinder, the volume of the full cylinder without the cavity being made. Volume of that cylinder is pi R square H. Pi capital R square small h. Now from this we remove something, no? So that's why we are subtracting. Why we are subtracting? Because we are removing something. So what are we removing? We are removing another cylinder. So pi R square h again. What is the radius of that cylinder which you are removing from the middle? Small r. What's the height? Same h. So this is the original volume. From that you're removing this volume. So the volume of the solid cylinder is this one. And this is the cylinder which you're removing from the middle. Now this minus this, whatever is left is the volume of the cylindrical shell. So we say it's the external volume minus the internal volume. External volume is the full thing. Minus internal volume is what you're scooping, what you're removing from the middle. So from the solid cylinder, okay, the volume of the solid cylinder of radius r and height h is pi r square h. This one. From this you're removing or you're taking out, you're drilling out a cylinder of radius r and same height h. So what volume are you removing? You're removing, you're not adding. That's why we're subtracting here. You're removing something, so minus this volume is being removed. Pi r square h, pi r square h. This is being removed. So this minus this will give you the remaining volume. This minus this will give you the remaining volume, and that remaining volume is the volume of the material. You can imagine that. That remaining volume is the volume of this one, the volume of this piece. That is a cylindrical shell. That is a cylindrical shell. So volume of the material in the cylindrical shell. Volume of the, so it can be volume of the metal or the volume of the wood, whatever, volume of glass. So that volume, the volume of the material which is used to make the cylindrical shell is external volume minus internal volume, which is pi capital R square h minus pi small r square h. And on taking pi h common, we get pi h capital R square minus small r square cubic units. So this is the external volume, internal volume. On taking pi h common, we have this. So this is the formula to find the volume of the material in a cylindrical shell. You don't have to write everything. This is the formula. Pi h of capital R square minus small r square, where h is the height of the cylinder or the cylindrical shell, r is the external radius, and this r is the internal radius.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. So now we can also find now the cylindrical shell has a uniform cross section. And the uniform cross section of the cylindrical shell is a plate, is a ring. See, different authors use different terms. Now see this hollow cylinder itself, sometimes when the base is covered also the same term hollow cylinder will be used. Hollow means it's not solid. So it depends. So then nobody can argue with me, because when we say hollow, it's empty in the middle. Different authors. So depending on the situation, the way the question has been, where the way the information is described, using that we need to understand. When hollow cylinder is used with some specific information, you need to imagine how that is that cylinder is going to be. But one thing clear is you will have two R's only when the wall is thick. You will have two R's, small r and capital R in the formula, only when the wall is thick. If nothing is given about the thickness of the wall, that means there is only one radius and one height. Height is always one height only. Height is always one height. The inner cylinder, the outer cylinder, both will have the same height. The thing is about the radius. Two radius you will have only when the wall is thick. You'll have only one radius when the wall is thin. Or nothing is mentioned about the wall. That means only one radius. Nothing is mentioned. Supposing they say hollow cylinder, but no mention about the thickness of the wall. Ignore it. There's only one radius. Okay, since a cylindrical shell has a uniform cross section, the cross section is going to be like this. It's a ring. The cross section is a ring. Excuse me. Many plates like this, you know, you have not able to draw the circles. Okay, so this is the cross section of a cylindrical shell. This is the cross section. These are two concentric circles. These are two concentric circles. So you have, say, so you have a, you cut a circle using a paper, you cut a circle like this, and from the middle, using the same center, from the middle, you remove the circle. Using paper, you make a circle like this, say of radius 5 centimeters. Now what you do, using the same center and radius 2 centimeters, you draw another circle in the middle. You draw another circle like this in the middle, and you use a scissor and you cut off the cylinder. You cut this one along the boundary like this, you cut it out. So now it's hollow in the middle. This one becomes hollow. This is open now. You cut it out. You remove this portion. So now what is remaining? Only this one is remaining. Only this one is remaining. This is called a ring. R-I-N-G, ring, or sometimes metallic plate, they say. We'll say ring. We'll say ring. Okay. We'll say ring. So now how do we find the area of this ring? The area of the outer circle, outer circle, pi r square, minus the area of the inner circle. From the whole circle, you're removing a smaller circle. From the big circle, originally we had this area. Pi r square. Now from that we are removing a circle. You're taking off this. You're taking away this circle. So you should subtract the area of this circle, pi r square, smaller. So from the area of the big circle, pi capital R square, when you subtract the area of the small circle, pi small r square, you'll be left. So only this, the paper will, only here you'll have paper now. This is empty. So that will give you the area of the ring. Area of the ring is pi capital R square minus pi small r square. Ring. Now when you have ring, this ring is a plane figure. It's not 3D, it's 2D. Now this ring is a plane figure. If you have identical rings like this, many identical rings, you have many of them. You have many identical rings. You stack them up. You place them one over the other. That will give you a cylindrical shell. When you stack many identical rings, the solid obtained is a cylindrical shell. It will be empty in the middle. You can see that washer between a nut and a bolt. If you've observed, there's something between a nut and a bolt. So that is called a washer. So it helps the nut and bolt stay strong, stay tight. So that washer is a ring. It's called a washer. You can call it a ring. It's a metal plate. That one is metallic. All right. So identical rings stacked up gives us a cylindrical shell, which means a cylindrical shell has a uniform cross section, because when congruent rings are stacked up, you get a cylindrical shell. That means it has a uniform cross section. The uniform cross section being a ring, and the area of the ring is pi capital R square minus pi small r square. And we know that volume is area into height. Volume is area into height. Area of the uniform cross section into height. And the area of the uniform cross section is, on taking pi common, what do we get? On taking pi common, you will get pi of r square minus r square. That's what you see here. Area of the uniform cross section, which is a ring. Area is pi capital R square minus small r square into height h. Volume of the material in the cylindrical shell can also be understood like this, because a cylindrical shell has a uniform cross section. Being a ring, it's the area of the ring into height. Area of the ring you see here on taking pi common, pi capital square minus small r square into height h. So you need, when you multiply, you can just multiply pi and h, pi h, capital square minus small r square. Pi h capital square minus small r square, cubic units, its volume. Class, use the emoji, raise your hand. Kanishka, Ananya, Hitesh, Pratiksha, Vasudevan, Arav, Tarun, Pranav. Tarun, Ishwaran, Shreyas, Nikita, Deepika.
Ma'am,
Yeah,
I can't
okay.
use the shell.
Yeah, Deepika, you've mentioned many times, it just, comes out. I'm sorry. You've told me, yeah. Tarun Ishwaran, you were very late. You were late in using the emoji. Nikita, are you there? All right. All right, any questions, children? Now I want all of you to get something which looks like a cylindrical shell. If you have that with you, and then listen to the further discussion, it will be more useful, more clear. We were talking about the sellotape roll, just in case you have that. I'll give you 2 minutes time. Just try to fetch something which looks like a cylindrical shell. Sellotape is one easy thing which you can find. Just see if you have it.
Vicks box.
Yeah.
Vicks box, ma'am.
Vicks, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
No, darling, that's a solid cylinder, no?
Ma'am, LPG gas cylinder.
Who's that? Yeah, who's that?
Ma'am, Tarun.
Tarun Ishwaran, na? No, Tarun, what are we talking about? We're talking about a cylindrical shell. What example did I give you for a cylindrical shell? Yeah, if you have a sellotape roll, you can get it. Otherwise, I cannot think of anything which is like a cylindrical shell at home. I normally, so when we have physical sessions, I normally carry a sellotape roll with me. That's what I do. I use that to explain all about the cylindrical shell. Now I want you to, okay, otherwise you have to imagine a sellotape roll. Better if you have it. Otherwise, you can see the picture on the screen. You can see the picture on the screen. Pranav, you said Vicks, you know, that Dabba Vicks box or Vicks container. That's a solid cylinder. Pranav, I'm scared you're not following what I'm explaining. Tarun also. See, we're talking about a cylindrical shell. Sellotape. Sellotape
Okay,
roll.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Imagine that, children. Now, we're going to imagine something else. You have a box of paint, okay? You have a brush. Now, when I say, children, don't go ahead of me. Please don't try to read the contents of the screen. Let's do it together. Yeah. Now, one, you have a cylindrical shell with you. Okay, you have something made in wood, which looks like a cylindrical shell. Let me do it point by point so that you understand. Do you all get this, children? You have a wooden block in the form of a cylindrical shell. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay, you have something. You have a wooden block which is in the form of a cylindrical shell. That is, which is like this. Which is like this. Okay, that's the first thing. Now you have a container of paint and you have a brush. That's okay. The container of paint and brush, don't worry about how they look. You have a container of paint and you have a brush with you. Now, children, tell me, how many faces does a cube have? How many faces does a cube have? 6 faces. A cuboid also has 6 faces.
ma'am.
Yeah. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to paint up this cylindrical shell all over. It's made of wood, right? It's made of wood. You want to paint it all over. Okay, you like, say you like yellow color. So you want to paint up this block all over with yellow color. Now tell me how many surfaces, like 1, 2, 3, 4, like you all said, no, 6. A cuboid has 6 surfaces outside. On the outside, they have 6 surfaces, flat surfaces they have. If you have to paint a cube or a cuboid, you have to paint 6 squares or 6 rectangles. Now tell me how many surfaces. All over, you have to cover this cylindrical shell made of wood. You should cover it all over with yellow color. How many surfaces will you be painting?
3 surfaces, ma'am. Ma'am, 3 surfaces.
No, the cylindrical shell is not fixed. You can lift it in your hand. You should paint it all over. That is, no, wood should not be visible everywhere. Everywhere it should be yellow, yellow. Many of them are not in the class. I don't know. You've not still finished exams at school, so you're not able to manage. I need to discuss that at the end of the session, because let's, you know, like, I'll give you a break just in case you want to finish your term 1 exams and then start off with term 2 portions. I'll give you a break. I'll post exams based on term 1 sessions, term 1 portions in the portal. So you can occupy yourself with that. Let me check that at the end of the session, because I can see at least 6 of them are not there. Yeah, now how many surfaces, children?
3.
No.
Ma'am, 6.
3, yeah? No. How many rings will you find? How many rings?
Ma'am, 2, ma'am.
2 rings.
Yes, ma'am.
And how many curved surfaces will you find?
1 curved surface.
What about the inside?
2, ma'am. Then 2.
Yeah, no, I said it should not be visible anywhere. It should be yellow everywhere. So this cylinder, this mic is enabled. Please disable your mic. Now the cylindrical shell has 2 rings, one on the top, one below. So you'll have to paint 2 rings and 2 curved surfaces, because inside you can see there's a curved surface inside. Imagine where all you have to paint. So there's the inner curved surface area which you have to paint. Then the outer curved surface area which you have to paint. Feel your finger. If you have the sellotape roll, you can feel it. You can run your forefinger, feel it. Inside there's a curved surface area inside. Outside also there's a curved surface area. So you'll have to paint up these 2 portions. Then there's a ring on the top which is to be painted. There's a ring below which is to be painted. So these are the 4 different surfaces which has to be covered with paint. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So the 4 surfaces that have to be, the 4 surfaces that have to be covered with paint are the inner curved surface area, the outer curved surface area of the ring on the top, area of the ring below. So 2 rings and 2 curved surface areas. 2 rings and 2 curved surface areas. So add all this to find the total area. To find the total area that has to be painted. To find the total area that has to be painted, you have to add all this. Inner curved surface area plus outer curved surface area plus area of the top ring plus area of the bottom ring. Finished. Supposing you have to find only the curved surface area, it will be the inner CSA plus the outer CSA. If supposing they say don't paint the rings, don't paint the top ring and the bottom ring, that means you have to paint only the curved surface area. But here we have 2 curved surface areas, inner curved surface area and outer curved surface area. We have 2. So supposing you are asked to find only the, or you're asked to paint only the curved surface areas, then it is the inner curved surface area plus the outer curved surface area. So the total curved surface area to be painted, the total curved surface area to be painted, the total curved surface area, not the total surface area, the total curved surface area will be the inner CSA plus the outer CSA. CSA is curved surface area. But the total area to be painted is inner CSA, outer CSA, area of top ring, area of bottom ring. We'll see them as expressions, but have you understood in words, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, see, what is the area between 2 concentric circles, or area of a ring? What is the area of a ring? We understood this already. We know that this is the area of a ring. So then the area of 2 rings will be 2 pi r square minus r square. 1 ring is this one. Area of 1 ring is this. So area of 2 rings will be 2 pi capital R square minus small r square. So this is about the area of 2 rings. Area of 1 ring is, this is about the rings, children. Area of 1 ring is pi capital R square minus small r square. Area of 2 rings will be 2 pi capital R square minus small r square. Now talking about the curve. Now only we're talking about the curved surface area. The curved surface area for hollow cylinder will be the external, see here, the curved surface area for hollow cylinder, that is a cylinder of this sort. Now a cylinder of this sort will be the external curved surface area plus the internal curved surface area. External will be, see, the formula to find CSA is 2 pi RH. You can go back and see for a cylinder, CSA is 2 pi RH. See, for a cylinder, curved surface area is 2 pi RH. You must replace this R with capital R and small r accordingly, because there are 2 radii, right? So you should replace that with capital R, small r accordingly. If you are finding the inner If you're finding the inner CSA, it will be small r. If you're finding the outer CSA, then that should be replaced with capital R. But this is the formula, 2 pi RH, curved surface area of a cylinder, 2 pi RH, 2 pi RH, CSA of a cylinder. So 2 pi capital RH for external curved surface area, 2 pi small RH for internal curved surface area. So the total curved surface area will be 2 pi RH plus 2 pi RH. That is one capital R, then one small r. Any order. You can write this first and then this, any order. But on taking 2 pi h common, you can see 2 pi h is common. 2 pi h capital R plus small r square units. That is the total curved surface area of a hollow cylinder or a cylindrical shell. Simple, children. A cylindrical shell has two curved surface areas. Add both of them, that's all. Curved surface area formula is 2 pi RH. So use for inner use small r, for outer use capital R, that's all. And 2 pi h is common. Write whatever should come inside the bracket. That's all. 2 pi h capital R plus small r square units. That's about the curved surface area. Now the total surface area. For that, to the curved surface area, you should add the area of two rings. That's it. We understood there are four surfaces. Inner CSA, outer CSA, area of the top ring, area of the bottom ring. If you add the area of the rings, it becomes total surface area. If you add the area of the two rings, it becomes total surface area. If you don't add them, only CSA you take, it is a total curved surface area. So the terms, you can really understand the terms. Nothing really mathematical. Inner, outer, you understand them. So total surface area will be, the total surface area will be the curved surface area plus the area of two rings. What is the curved surface area of a cylindrical shell? This one. This one. See, children, for your convenience, you can find them separately. You can find inner CSA, outer CSA, area of two rings and add everything. It's not that you should write this formula and substitute. That's what it is. It's not that you have to write this formula and substitute. If you're asked to find the total surface area of a cylindrical shell, CSA of a cylindrical shell, you don't worry about the formula, just find them separately. What is the inner CSA? 2 pi small RH. What's the outer CSA? 2 pi capital RH. What is the area of one ring? Pi capital R square minus small r square. Into 2 to get for two rings. Add all these answers. That's all. This, for the sake of a formality, I'm teaching you this. This one alone. This one alone. See, because some schools teachers are like, they just want to go with the formula. They feel that's easier. So then, well, I don't think so. I normally prefer this. I always prefer this, finding the different areas separately, so that even if you go wrong, it's easy to, correct your answer. Fine, but I always say you follow what your teacher says in school. So now this one, let me show you again. Yeah, so the total, we are talking about a cylindrical shell. Total will be curved surface area plus area of two rings. Curved surface area, see here we have the formula. 2 pi h capital R plus small, 2 pi h capital R plus small r. And two rings here. 2 pi capital R square minus small r square. So here we can write this one. This one comes down as it is. This one can be written as a square minus b square is a plus b into a minus b. So 2 pi r square minus r square can be written as r plus r into r minus r. A plus b into a minus b is a square minus b square. It's standard. So now you can see 2 pi h of r plus r is common. Here also we have the same thing, 2 pi r plus r. H is not there, sorry, this h is not there. No, I think I went wrong while typing this. Only 2 pi is common. Yeah, I've gone wrong in typing this, children. Let me do it here for you. See here, it's 2 pi. It's 2 pi which is common. Here, not h. By mistake, I've typed h. Okay, fine. Let me just correct this and then get back to you in the next class, children. I'm also saying that because it's not really so important, because you don't have to come till here. Anyways, it's just about taking common. I shouldn't have taken h common because h is not common. Only 2 pi r plus r is common. 2 pi r plus r is common. 2 pi, see here, 2 pi, 2 pi. And then this r plus r, this one, see, 2 r plus r and r plus r. Only that is common. We'll just ignore that for today's class. I'll just finish it like this. So to find the total surface area, it is a curved surface area plus the area of 2 rings. So it is 2 pi h, see here, curved surface area. 2 pi h capital R plus small r plus area of 2 rings, 2 pi capital R square minus small r square. See, children, you can find this answer separately. Add both. You can find this separately, and add both. And I'll tell you many things when we do the numerical ones. So here, you'll substitute the values of R and H. Here also R and R. Don't take the value of pi as 22/7. You find this answer in pi. Take pi as it is. Don't use 22/7. Take pi as it is. So you'll get this answer. Say, like, supposing this answer is 7 pi. I'm just saying, for example. Okay, or say 87 pi. And this answer is like, say, 1 minute. Supposing 7 pi. Is 94 divisible by 7. 94. 8 here. So let me make this 11. Let me make this 11. Let me make this 11 pi just to make you understand. Let me make this 11 pi. So supposing this is 87 pi. Supposing this answer is 87 pi. 87 pi. Because we did not use the value of pi, no? We didn't use the value of pi. And supposing this is 11 pi. 11 pi. So the total area is 87 pi plus 11 pi, which is 98 pi. The total area is 98 pi. 98 pi. Now you can use the value of pi once for all. Now use the value of pi, 98 into 22/7. 22/7. So 7 ones are 7, 2 remain, 7 fours are 28. See, now it's exactly divisible also. And then whatever is 22 into 14, 22 14 times, whatever is answer will be the total surface area of the hollow cylinder. So a hollow cylinder has 4 surfaces: inner CSA, outer CSA, area of top ring, area of bottom ring. And for CSA, the formula is 2 pi RH. Use the R accordingly. Inner small r, outer capital R. Okay, the rest I'll leave with you. You need to go through the formula again and remember them. Just ignore this part. Let me correct it and show it in the next class. But even if I correct it, I told you, even before I did it, I told you this one is not really important. You can, because this is easier. Instead of doing this, this is easier. Just substituting the values as I told you, and then add and use the value of pi. But anyways, I'll tell you this in the next class.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a hemispherical shell or a hollow hemisphere. So again, this one is now, for example, you have a coconut. You have a coconut which is in the shape of a perfect sphere. You have a spherical coconut with you. See, coconut sometimes is it's elongated at the ends. It's oblique. It you don't know. It's not perfectly spherical always, but there are perfectly spherical coconuts. So we'll assume one such coconut which is perfectly spherical. Coconut. Okay, it's a perfectly spherical coconut. Now you break this into two equal halves. You break this into two equal halves. Normally, the way we do that in our homes or in the temple, you would have seen how they break a coconut into two equal halves. So like that. Now each half you have with you is a hemispherical shell, because you can see that in the middle it's empty. It is bowl. It looks like a bowl. It looks like a bowl. It's a hemispherical bowl, and the wall of the bowl is thick. That's how it looks like. Half a coconut is a good example of a hemispherical shell. Hemispherical. So it assumes a bowl-like structure, bowl-like hemisphere. Half of a sphere is a hemisphere. But what is different in this bowl? The wall is thick. The wall is thick. Inside there's a cavity. In the middle you can see a hemispherical cavity. It's empty. Like you can pour something into it, and you can pour something into it. In the middle it's empty. That's why hollow. Hemispherical shell. Now first imagine that, only then we can proceed. Half of a coconut. Okay, so the wall is thick. The wall is thick, so you can see it here. It looks like this. It looks like this. Half a coconut will look like this. And the top portion of the coconut will look like this. This top portion, this blue portion, the top portion will be like this. The top, that there'll be one ring on the top. This is the top portion, that ring on the top. This one. Now tell me, how many surfaces does a hollow hemisphere have, or a hemispherical shell have? If you have to paint it, they say that you have something similar to a hollow. Something similar to half a coconut. You have a similar thing in wood. You have a similar thing made in wood. How many surfaces will you have to paint if you have to paint it all over?
3 surfaces.
Very good. What are the 3 surfaces?
One ring, a curved surface, and an inner curved surface.
Yeah. Who's that?
Hitesh.
Hitesh. Very good. So there are 3 surfaces to be painted. Imagine coconut, half a coconut, half of a coconut. How does it look? A similar thing. So something which looks like similar to a half coconut, similar to half a coconut, you have similar solid in wood. Half a coconut, you have it in wood. Now your job is to paint it up all over. Where all will you paint? You can just feel it. Where all can you paint this? So there's something in the inside, the inner cavity. There's a depression in the middle, the inner cavity. That is the inside or the inner curved surface area. Then similarly, there's something outside also. You have to paint on the outside, outer curved surface area. Then there's only one ring on the top. One ring on the top. If you paint these three surfaces, the inside portion, inner CSA, outer CSA, and the ring on the top, you're done. You're painted all over. So as we saw earlier, the inner surface, the curved surface area will be inner CSA plus outer CSA. The total surface area will be inner CSA, everything, total surface area meaning all the area available. Inner CSA, outer CSA, area of ring, one ring. If you add all these three surfaces, the areas of all these three surfaces, you will get the total surface area of a hollow hemisphere or a hemispherical shell. And volume as we understood earlier, volume, it's like as if, you know, you had a solid hemisphere, you had something in the shape of a solid hemisphere. Hemisphere, see the formula? Yeah, hope you're ready. So this is a solid hemisphere. That is, say, half of a cork ball. Half of a cork ball. Half of a cork ball is an example of a solid hemisphere. Now what we do is, so now supposing the radius of this, the circle of on the top is 10 centimeters. Supposing 10 centimeters. What you do is on the top, using the same center, but a smaller radius, say some 3 centimeters. 3 centimeters radius, what you do is, you scoop out a hemisphere. You remove a hemisphere. You scoop it out. You make a hemispherical depression of radius 3 centimeters and throw it away. That's when something like this is formed. So this is like as if it were a solid hemisphere of radius r. And when from this solid hemisphere of radius r, a hemispherical cavity has been removed. A hemispherical cavity has been removed or has been made of radius r using the same center. See, why am I stressing same center? Because you can also remove a hemisphere from this portion, right? Without using the center. Without using the center, you can also remove a hemisphere like this. From here, you can remove a hemisphere. That doesn't make it a hemispherical shell. Using the same center, there's a circle already, and that circle has a center. Using the same center but a smaller radius. So from this you remove a hemispherical a hemispherical portion, or you make a hemispherical cavity of a smaller radius using the same center. So this is 3. You remove this. This from here to here is 10. So that's when you get a hemispherical shell. So a hemispherical shell is like as if it was originally a solid hemisphere, and from that a hemispherical cavity has been made using the same center but a smaller radius. That's how a hemispherical shell is formed. And we understood the 3 surfaces of a hemispherical shell. So volume is very clear, external volume, because you had something solid earlier. From that you're removing something, no? That's how you get a shell. So you had a solid one earlier. 2 pi, I showed you for a shell, for a hemisphere it is 2 by 3 pi r cubed. For a hemisphere, volume is 2 by 3 pi r cubed. So 2 by 3 pi capital R cubed. From this, you're taking away. So minus 2 by 3 pi small r cubed. From a solid hemisphere, you're removing another hemisphere from the middle. So minus 2 by 3 pi r cubed. This difference is the volume of the material in the hemispherical shell. You can take out common in the next step. You can see after taking common, it looks like this. Curved surface area, as we understood, it's the external curved surface area plus internal curved surface area. Curved surface area of a hemisphere is 2 pi r square. Curved surface area of a hemisphere is 2 pi r square. You can see here, hemisphere. 2 pi r square, curved surface area. So external will be with capital R, internal will be with small r. External will be with capital R, internal will be with small r. So 2 pi capital R square plus 2 pi small r square, 2 pi common, so r square plus r square. Square units. And the total surface area is the CSA plus area of one ring. So CSA is this one, 2 pi r square plus r square. This is the CSA plus area of one ring, pi r square minus r square. Area of one ring, pi r square minus r square. You can find, see, I've not taken anything common here, pi or anything. You can find this answer, and add the 2. Add the 2. Is that fine, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Class, lower your hand. Pranav. Okay, Nikita, you want to say something, I understand. Children, any questions? Pranav, Hitesh, Ananya, Deepika, Kanishka, Arav, Vasudevan, Nikita, Pratiksha, Shreyas, Tarun, both the Taruns.
No,
No, ma'am.
no, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Ma'am, can you show that screen so that I can just take the screenshot alone?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me come from all the contents which we started with today. Started here today. So the next one is a spherical shell. Spherical, not a hemispherical. Spherical. So a coconut. A coconut is a good example of a spherical shell. Shell meaning it's empty in the middle. There's the coconut water, but otherwise there's an empty space in the middle. There's no material there in a coconut. In a full coconut, inside that white portion, that which is the coconut, inside that there's nothing. There's an empty space. There's an empty space. So a coconut can be an example of a spherical shell. See, I'm just giving you this example for an imagination, children. The coconut, the cavity inside also should be perfectly spherical. That we can't say. But something like that, where both the inside and outside portions are perfect spheres. The inner space, there should be some empty space, spherical inside. Empty spherical space inside. In the inside, there should be an empty spherical space. Such a thing as a, and the wall is thick. The wall is thick. Now these these balls, you know, the big ones which are normally got for the children, for toddlers, which looks like a football, but it's very light, which comes in different colors. So that's a perfect sphere. And it's a hollow sphere also. It's a hollow sphere because there's only air inside. There's no material inside. It's a hollow sphere. But that is not a spherical shell because the material is very thin. The wall is not thick. The wall has to be thick. For it to be a spherical shell, the wall has to be thick. So some chocolates, they're spherical, and when you bite, it's empty inside. Or there's some badam or something else filled in the inside. Spherical chocolates, inside it's empty. That empty space, there's something else filled. You can imagine, please. So I said you can just think of something like a coconut. So in the coconut, inside the coconut is an empty space. We'll assume that that space is spherical. Outside also the coconut is spherical, and that is an example of a spherical shell. The wall must be thick and there should be empty space inside. Now if it's a spherical shell, there should be a spherical empty space inside. The wall is thick, so two radius you will have, inner radius, outer radius. So volume of the material is external volume minus internal volume. This is external volume because for a sphere it is 4/3 pi r cube. Sphere 4/3 pi r cube. Yeah. So you can see 4 by 3 pi capital R cubed minus 4 by 3 pi small r cubed, 4 by 3 pi common, r cubed minus r cubed cubic units. And here we also have one more thing, the volume of the space. See, now when you have something, which is in the form of a spherical shell, you cannot paint it in the inside, right? For that, you'll have to break it open. Now, supposing this coconut, this coconut, you will have to apply turmeric powder to the coconut all over. Okay. You're offering it to the god. So say that it's a ritual that you have to make it look yellow. So you apply turmeric, or you have to dip it in turmeric solution, whatever, to make it yellow. So you're not going to go break the coconut in that case. Only the outer portion has to be made yellow. So the total surface area of a hemispherical shell, because you're not going to disturb the shell by breaking it. So here there's nothing like inner, outer and all that. If you have to paint the spherical shell all over, it should remain a shell, spherical shell. So where will you paint? Only on the outside, because you're not going to break it into two halves and then paint the inside also. No, it's not like that. Spherical shell should remain a spherical shell. So you cannot break it into two. And in that case, if you have to paint it all over, it will be only the outer portion, which is 4 pi, external area, which is 4 pi r square. Of course, the outer radius, 4 pi capital R square. See, now we are seeing some standard expressions called formulae to find volume and area. We'll be deriving according to the situation, according to the object, in the question. We'll have to sometimes create our own expressions to find the answer. So in the case of a spherical shell, area to be painted outside is 4 pi capital R square. Because sphere outside is 4 pi square. Sphere. So 4 pi capital R square. This is the volume of the space inside. What will be the volume of the space inside the shell? That's a sphere again. The volume of the space inside the shell is a sphere again. So volume will be 4 by 3 pi capital R small r cube, because inside shell, right? So 4 by 3 pi small r cubed. Volume of the space inside the shell. Inside the shell, that space, empty space is spherical. So its volume will be 4 by 3 pi, which are, because inside it is, so it will be small r cubed.
Ma'am, a doubt.
Yes.
Ma'am, that 4 by 3 pi r cube minus capital R cube minus small r cube, still we can simplify, no ma'am, by using a cube minus b cube.
No, we are not factorizing here, no, so you don't have to do that. That will only make your calculation lengthy. A cube minus b cube, a minus b, a square plus ab plus b square will only make your calculation lengthy. Taking out common you can do, that will simplify your work.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, you're not factorizing here. You don't have to do that. Even if you do that and apply the values, you will get the same answer. When we are deriving formulae, wherever possible, we'll take out the common factor. You don't have to factorize this ahead as a minus b, a square plus ab plus b square. You don't have to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Volume of the space inside the shell. Inside the shell is an empty space. Empty spherical space. Volume 4/3 pi r cubed because it's sphere. Which r? Small r because inside. So small r. 4/3 pi small r cubed cubic units.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, children, write down everything now. Have you completed so far? I'd asked you to write out everything in your notebook. Have you all done that? Yes or no, children? So silence means yes. That's very important.
Yes, ma'am.
Please. Okay. Since some of us are not joining us regularly, I just assume that it's difficult to attend the classes due to the term 1 exams in case you have not finished. Let's just talk about that at the end of the session so that I can decide if I can continue the classes on Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday this week, or if we should take an off this week and resume from the next week. Just a minute, children. Thank you, children. Okay. Answer these questions. What will be the area of the paper? That is, what is the expression you will use to find the area of the paper in a perfectly conical birthday cap, birthday cap, birthday cap, a perfectly conical birthday cap is normally made of paper. What is the area? What is the expression you would use to find the area? See, I've kept the slide in, you can see it in the slide, you can see the formula in the slide. So it's not going to be difficult. What is the area of the paper used to make a conical birthday cap?
Ma'am, I can't understand the question.
Okay, please imagine a birthday cap which is conical made of paper. Got that in your mind?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now normally all of them who attend the party are given a cap and all of us wear it, right? There's a string attached and you pull it down to put it, fix it below your chin, and the cap stands upright on your head. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now this cap, I'm not asking you to give a numerical answer because I've not given you any numbers. You cannot give a numerical answer. What is the formula or what is the expression which you will use?
Ma'am, curved surface area.
Why? Why not total surface area?
Ma'am, total surface area means, ma'am, it is all covered, but in curved surface area, the bottom is not covered. So in birthday cap, the bottom is not covered, so only in curved surface area.
Very good. Very good. That's what it is. That's what it is. So in a conical birthday cap, the base, which is circular, is not covered with paper. You need to fit that on your head. It's not covered. The circular portion is not covered with paper. It's a hollow cone. It's empty. It's not covered on the. It's a hollow cone, meaning the top, that circular portion is not covered with paper. That circular portion is empty and that fits in your head. So where is paper used? Paper is used only to make the CSA. What are the two surfaces in a cone? Curved surface area and area of the circle. In a cone, the two surfaces are curved surface area and the other flat surface, which is a circle. Now that circle, there is no paper. So no area there. Circle is there, but there is no paper there. So no area of paper there. So where is the paper used? Only to build the CSA. Only to make the curved surface area. And what is the curved surface area of a cone? Pi RL. Pi RL. Pi R.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Similarly, if we are talking about this ice cream cone, there also the top is empty. The circular portion is empty. The area of the the conical part of this ice cream cone will be only the CSA, because that wafer, that's usually wafer, I think. So that wafer is conical. In an ice cream cone, that wafer part is conical. That's why it's called an ice cream cone. So that wafer part is only along the CSA, not the TSA. The top portion is open. There the ice cream is filled. So the area of the wafer will be only pi RL. Only pi RL. Now the other day we were also talking about this flower pot, which is used as a night cracker during Diwali. Flower pot.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what is the area of the paper? Now normally it's covered with colored paper, no? Normally blue or red, I think. Blue or red colored paper. What's the area of the paper used to cover it? See, one more thing. Well, in the process of covering this flower pot with the colored paper, there is that overlap, wastages, because when you have to wrap it on a curved surface, there is that wastage happening, and the paper is stuck. The ends, they don't meet, like the one end sits over the other end. There may be wastages. Ignore the wastage. Wastage we can't say how much wastage. What is the area of the flower pot? What is the area of the
total surface area.
Yeah. So what are the two surfaces you see in a flower pot? The curved surface area and
The area.
The area of base, ma'am.
area of the base. That circle is covered. If you have to paint the flower pot, if you have to paint up this flower pot all over, you have to paint the CSA, you have to paint the circle. Because the circle is intact, you can see the flat thing there. So the surface area, if surface area means all the area that is available, children. It need not be specified total surface area. If simply they say surface area, it is all the area available. So surface area or total surface area is CSA pi RL plus area of the circle pi R square. You can find it separately. Pi RL you find, then you find pi R square and add the two answers. Okay. Yeah. Now, what is the area of a cylinder? What's the area of a cylinder when both the ends are open?
Curved surface area.
Only the curved surface area. When both ends are open, it's a curved surface area. What's the formula to find the curved surface area?
2 pi r h.
2 pi r h. What is the area when one end is covered, the other is open?
Ma'am, curved surface area plus area of the first end.
Correct. So it will be if only one end is covered, say the bottom is covered, the top is open. So then the area will be 2 pi r h plus pi r square. If both are covered, both the circles are covered, then it will be 2 pi r h plus pi r square plus pi r square.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. All right, children. All right, I think that's it for today's session, children, but just wait. Please wait.